Yo, yo, yo. Um, just got done doing my schoolwork. Feel good about that. Still got plenty more to do. Of course, it's like the never-ending cycle, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, sucker. We're here to do this work. But no, I just wanted to share some interesting. I'm not worried, but I think, well, okay, so basically we have these assignments to do in class where it's like, read this, what's in my pocket? Oh, it's like, read this, chapter, and, then, like in sociology class, read this chapter this week, and then at the end of the week, answer these questions. And there's such generic questions. I wish he would like update them and make better questions, because he's trying to tell us, make sure you ask good questions, really push yourself. Yet he used the same questions like 2 weeks in a row, and they're super generic. Give us better questions, buddy. Come on, better questions, give better answers. But yeah, it's like, what sociological concept did you find most interesting in the chapter? I'm sitting here thinking, like, I didn't really find any of them that interesting, to be honest. But it's like you have to lie and say, well, I did, actually, it was this one. Sorry, maybe I'm dark, I don't know. But anyway, just being honest here. And then it's like, what surprised you most in the chapter? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can answer that. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes things are like, what? Nothing surprised me. This doesn't surprise me at all. This doesn't surprise me at all. And then the last one is like, what are your questions for blah, 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 and expanded research, blah, blah, blah. You have to ask your own questions, put them forth. Well, anyway, the chapter was about research, sociological research, and nothing really stood out as too interesting. Like no sociological terms stood out to me as super interesting necessarily, so I didn't do any of that. But I did answer what was most interesting to me, and it was the section on ethics. And I was like, yeah, ethics is super important, and that interests me because it's important. And based off of what I read in this chapter, it sounds like you guys don't even think that ethics is, you kind of act like it's kind of a shame we have to be ethical. I was like, nah. I read a sentence in there in the book, and it said something like, unfortunately, they're like, there's a code of ethics that is to be followed, when conducting sociological research. And then it says, unfortunately, when this code is not followed, to sum it up, it basically said, bad things happen to people. And I'm sitting here going, unfortunately? Really? That's unfortunate? I even wrote this in my answer. I was like, I kind of thought it was funny that the book said it was unfortunate that bad things happen when you're unethical. I was like, don't you realize what you're saying there? Like, that unfortunately? It's like, unfortunately, if you shoot someone, you're probably going to jail. That's not unfortunate. That's fortunate. Fortunately, you go to jail if you shoot someone, because you should. It's like saying, well, I stole this money, but unfortunately I got caught. It's like, no, it's not unfortunate that you got caught. Well, it's actually unfortunate for you, but it's not generally unfortunate, no, because it's like, if you steal, you should be caught. There's consequences for your actions. So if you do something bad, there should be a bad consequence. And that's why the problems in the world exist, because we go, oh, you did something bad? Here's $100. We're going to pay you. We're going to encourage you. Oh, you just murdered someone? Well, we're going to let you out of jail. What? So that I totally blew that up. I was like, nah, son, you can't just be like, it's bad that bad things happen when you do bad things. That's not bad. That's good. Don't you understand? It's good. Bad things should happen when you do bad things. Duh. Anyway, and then there was another one. There was like an example. It's like, a study was done in Los Angeles, California, where 3 students who had perfect driving records, a white, a black, and a Mexican or Hispanic, they all drove the same route to school, and the independent variable, I think it was independent or dependent, whichever one it was, but the thing that they changed was, I can't remember which one that is, but they were like, did we put a Black Panther sticker on the car? If you know the Black Panthers are a racist group of thugs from like the 70s who they were basically, they were not good. They got into all kinds of trouble. They caused a lot of fights and violence, shooting at police officers, brutalizing people, all this stuff, all in the name of fighting against racism, right? Well, that sounds like a great way to fight racism. Let's kill some people, right? No, that's wrong. That's absolutely so wrong, you know? So, they're like, yeah, this experiment was to measure police prejudice. And they're like, once we put the stickers on their car, they got pulled over more. And I'm like, yeah. And then it said, it even said, it wasn't like, it didn't say they got pulled over when they weren't doing anything. No, it said they got pulled over for doing things wrong. So they were doing things wrong already, despite having a perfect driving record. Perfect driving record doesn't mean that you're a perfect driver. It just means you are lucky to not have any tickets, or moving violations, whatever. But and they're like, well, the police are prejudiced because, and they're racially prejudiced against the Black Panthers because the Black Panther sticker having drivers got pulled over way more than when they didn't have a Black Panther sticker. It's like, so wait a minute. So you're not you're breaking the law by doing illegal lane changes or different things they got pulled over for, speeding, I'm sure, all kinds of different things. Again, perfect driving record doesn't translate to perfect driver. Duh. It's indicative to a point that you are probably a safer driver, mostly. It probably is more indicative that you are a smarter driver, or let's just say a more elusive driver, because you can elude police better because you haven't been caught yet. But most people, I think, well, everyone isn't perfect. So no one is perfect, so there are people. So you're going to make mistakes one way or another. But these people were acting like it was such a crazy thing that they got pulled over more for having Black Panther stickers. They didn't get pulled over because they had Black Panther stickers. They got pulled over because they were doing something wrong. The Black Panther sticker got the cops' attention, and then the cops said, "Oh snap! They got a freaking crazy." That's like having a swastika on your car. You're a neo-Nazi? Oh, I'm gonna watch you, buddy. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Or something that said, okay, like let's just say, if you're a police officer and you saw a car that said "F the police," would you just be like, would you think twice about that car? Of course you would. Why wouldn't you? That's suspicious. That's the definition of suspicion. First of all, if you have a tag that says "F the police," it concretely means that in some way you have some kind of disdain for the police that may lead up to, in the most extreme way, violence against police officers. Not something to just ignore. So if you want to act like, oh, well, it's my innocent Black Panther sticker, and the book was so deceiving about the Black Panthers, because the book was basically like, the Black Panthers were freedom fighters who fought to end racism. Oh yeah, really? You didn't tell us all about how they shot at cops and beat people up with bats and all this kind of stuff. And you know what I mean? Like, these people were not known as Mr. Rogers, okay? You can't obfuscate the truth and then expect or that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like that. I don't like that obfuscation of the truth. So anyway, there you go. So yeah, I wrote in my post about that. I said that was the most surprising part. I said the most surprising part to me was the fact that they thought that the Black Panther sticker was not a big deal, and that they're surprised the cops pulled them over more. The Black Panthers were violent and shootouts with the cops and all this stuff, blah blah blah. They were thugs. And, so give me a break. And nowadays you can't even say the word thugs because they say, oh, that's a racist term. It's not racist at all. What part of thug has anything to do with a race? Zero part of thug has anything to do with race. Thug is a term that describes someone who is a thug. If you're a thug, you mess around with the cops, you're into trouble, you're doing stuff wrong, blah blah blah. You're a thug, vandalizing property, resisting arrest, fighting the police, stealing, robbing, burglary. You're a thug. That is a thug. That's what a thug is. Thugs do like the dirty lowlifes. That's what a thug is. A thug is a gang member. A thug is, it doesn't matter what color you are. Do you notice you can be any color to fit this description? That's the point. It's not a racist term. So anyway, yeah. And I know my instructor is not a Trump supporter, so he definitely leans left. So I'm not trying to like upset the apple cart or anything, but I'm not just going to be like, oh well, what a shame. The police were profiling against the Black Panther Black Panther sticker havers. No, they weren't profiling. They were saying, well, look at this. This is, let's keep an eye on these guys. It's like, okay, if you saw a car, if you heard a lady scream and a car drive away quickly, would you not follow that car with suspicion as a cop? You absolutely are. You're obligated to. So if you see a sticker that says we hate the police or whatever, you should be obligated. I mean, yes, freedom of speech, but still, as protectors of the peace, it's your job to protect people from people who cause problems. And if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So there you go.